How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We are checking out ourselves a nice MiG-15 Fagot here. It is a MiG-15 BIS, of course. Now, we have Red 1998 that belongs to the 518th Fighter Aviation Regiment that was originally formed during World War II. Now, they would be sent to North Korea to aid the North Koreans, of course, during the Korean War. Now, from July of 1952 until July of 1953, they would shoot down 38 UN aircraft. And our particular aircraft here was flown by Mikhail Mikhin, who was a Soviet pilot who did join the Soviet Air Force in, I think, 1941 and was there until 1980. But he would become an ace during the Korean War, flying the MiG-15 here, shooting down between 9 to 12 enemy aircraft. And for these actions, he would receive the Hero of the Soviet Union. He would pass away aged 83 in 2007. There's nothing much to these boxes as per usual. It is quite a small little aircraft and a small little box too. And as you can see, that little MiG sitting in there. It is a very unusual code name with these ones, so you do have to be a little bit careful. I do not want to be cancelled, but what we'll do is we will open this up so we can check it out and get our little hands on this little MiG-15. All right, here we have the stand, of course, that these come with, little plastic stand. And this is how it looks all assembled. It is all plastic, no metal in this one at all. You don't need metal in this one because it does look quite small. Of course, you get this baggie of all these little bits and pieces, so you get some tanks, of course. Now, you do have the flaps to have the flaps down position on this as well, and also to have the air brakes in the open position as well. All right, let's get to this pretty cool looking model and have a little look at that. Now, as you can see, it does have the landing gear options in there. It does have a little pilot in there too, if you like your little pilots. And that little MiG sitting in there. Let's see if we can pop this out nicely without anything going wrong. All right, let us have a little look at this. As per usual, we will check it out in the bare bones first and see how good this does look. And I reckon, we've done one before. I think this is our second one. And I reckon it does look very nice. They do have a lot of detail for such a small little aircraft. Now, let's zoom in so you can see some of that detail I am talking about. The colour scheme, like the livery on this, is really nice. You can see the North Korean roundel there, and obviously that's where you're going to put your air brake options. Now, if I recall, the canopies slide, yeah, so they slide open if you can get it open. There's not a great deal of room, as you can see. It starts touching on that aerial or antenna there, and makes it hard to open any further. So you've got to be a skinny little guy to get in one of these, but you can see the nice detail inside there of all the gauges, which is really cool. We will check out, there's the 1998, a Red 1998. It's got some nice gun detail through there as well. Yeah, that is pretty cool. And you can see the aerial victories there. Weirdly enough, that's painted as stars. I would have thought they would have used, because that looks like he shot down Russian aircraft. But that's the way they did it. This has got some nice detail. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's this is brand new. So that's come off the. I'm not sure if that needs to be glued, or I think it just sits on there. So we should be able to put that in. Yeah. Like that. Okay. You might have to put some glue in there because that might drop out again. Maybe that's what's happened. The glue, yeah, they haven't, they got a bit stingy on the glue, so we'll glue that back on. But it shouldn't fall off on yours with any luck. Geez, I'm not having bloody much luck, I'll tell you that much. The joys of collecting diecast and doing videos. Now, obviously, you've got all your areas to put the open pieces in, and of course, the landing gear options. All right, what we'll do is we'll set this up and we'll come back and check this out in flight. All right, we'll be back in a second. All right, here we have it set up for in flight. Very straightforward. You've just got your 3 gear bay doors that go straight in there. I did re-glue that gun pack on there, so hopefully it won't drop out. You put your fuel tanks on the side there, and that is job done. You do put your closed air brakes on either side there, and that is your beautiful MiG-15 setup for in-flight. And that does look fantastic. That is a really nice camo scheme on this too. Yep, definitely like it. I reckon it looks cool. And of course, if you do want to chuck it on your stand, you've got a big stand hole right there. You just stick your stand in your stand hole, and that is job done. And that is your beautiful looking MiG-15 here set up. We'll zoom in a fraction for you so you can actually see it. And it does sit nicely on the stand. It is not a huge aircraft, as you can see. Sausage finger test. It is very, very small. So, but what we'll do though, now we will chuck some landing gear on this, of course. So for you people that like to display yours on the landing gear, you can check that out. So with you in-flight guys done and dusted, we will go off and do that now. So we'll chuck the landing gear on this and we'll chuck it on the scales and see how much this little MiG does weigh. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Alrighty, something I'm sure we all want to find out is how much does this weigh? It does weigh 129 grams, which isn't too bad. So we will grab this off and move the scales out of the way and have a little look at this in a little bit more detail. There is a lot more that you do sort of need to do on this to set it up for gear down than you do for a lot of other models. So for one thing, you get to open these nice air brakes up, which does look pretty cool. As you can see, some really nice engine detail in there as well. And you get to open up the flaps as well, which is a really nice feature. For such a small model, there is a lot of little pieces. You do put the little gear bay door in there, and then there's the module for the main wheel to go on either side, of course. And that is all. That is all one piece. None of the wheels rotate or anything. Nose wheel is just one complete module that drops straight in, and that is job done. So yeah, between your two sets of air brakes, two sets of flaps, and your landing gear, it's all set up very nicely. And I reckon it does look bloody awesome. And of course, if you feel like opening the canopy up, you can have it all set up, put your pilot in there if you want to use your pilot. I don't really put pilots in my aircraft if I have that option, because I like to be able to see the gauge detail and the sort of these seats and stuff like that. But yeah, and especially because I display mine on the landing gear like so. Don't want a pilot sitting in there all day getting bored. But that is a beautiful North Korean Hobbymaster MiG-15, and I think it does look fantastic. So, hey, if you agree with me and think this looks nice, don't forget to throw me some of those. And if the Supreme Leader is watching, hey, don't forget to throw some of those my way as well. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, always feel free to click that subscribe button as well. Don't forget, I will take photos of this and throw it at the end of the video, and you can check this out without my grubby little hands all over it. As you can see, it is, as I've shown, it's quite a small aircraft. If you know your MiG-15s, you know how small these fighters were back in the day. But I think this livery right here is a really nice one, and it's well worth getting. It's not an old one, so it might still be available at the time of recording this video. So hopefully, if you do like what you see, you can find one for yourself. All right, everyone, always feel free to drop a comment below if you feel like it as well. And I will sign off by saying thank you very much for spending your valuable time, as per usual, in dropping past the channel and checking out another one of our reviews. I hope you enjoyed what you saw today. All right, thank you so much for watching. You all have an awesome rest of your day. Cheers, everyone.